What if SpongeBob is really an evil genius and is actually a menace to people on purpose? Yes, and if my hypothesis is correct, it could mean that throughout the series, when he's driving his friends and neighbors to near insanity, he's doing it on purpose just to troll them. Really, it's true that his innocent-looking SquarePants are actually a hidden evil. But hold on guys, we'll see both sides of the picture. So today, I'll make 3 theories and talk about the times when this yellow square acted all innocent to times when he was pure evil. So let's begin with the first theory that said SpongeBob is naive and innocent. Really? Is he? Well, that's how it looks in most of the episodes, unless we think deeper and realize that this nuthead really had some hidden agenda. But actually, there were some times when this yellow square acted all innocent and disciplined. We all know that SpongeBob is a certified single, like most of you guys. But he still has a good heart, so he acts like a love guru in Krusty Love. He helps Mr. Krabs work up the courage to talk to Mrs. Puff, and even tries to help him manage his finances when Mr. Krabs starts spending absurd amounts of money on her. SpongeBob shows too much patience here, especially when Krabs constantly blames him for his own bad decisions. Even when SpongeBob finally snaps and calls Krabs out, it's clear that his intentions were good from the start. Next, we see that SpongeBob makes it his mission to protect Fred's leg after it gets injured once again. This guy goes to extreme lengths to keep Fred safe, and he even lies face down on hot coals to prevent him from stepping on them. But things get really shocking when Fred admits he enjoys being injured because it lets him see a nurse he really likes. Really, bro? What devotion? And here, instead of choosing a sensible solution, brainless SpongeBob breaks Fred's leg again to help him get back in the hospital. Though he acts kind here, it really proves that this guy has got nothing up there in his hollow brain. Let's talk about another episode named Treats. When Gary becomes addicted to a new brand of snail treats, SpongeBob goes to absurd lengths to keep him happy. This stupid SquarePants travels across the world to find more after they're sold out. He also considers refusing Gary once it's confirmed that the treats no longer exist. This really shows how innocent and lovable he is. Then we see in Rockabye Bye Valve, SpongeBob takes on the role of a parent when he and Patrick find a baby scallop named Junior. He does nearly all the work while evil Patrick pretends to have a job. Our innocent SpongeBob remains committed to raising Junior responsibly. He loses his temper at one point and leaves Junior alone, but in the end, things turn out okay. Finally, we see the best version of SpongeBob in SpongeBob SquarePants versus the Flying Dutchman. After learning to fly with inflatable pants, he helps countless citizens with a variety of tasks. Even though they had previously mocked and talked crap about him, he never holds a grudge against them. But we all know that there were just a few times when he acted all naive. So we can't say that he's really innocent and clueless. So for that reason, let's head to our next theory. The second theory says that SpongeBob is a genius but not evil. There's no doubt that he's a real smartass. We've seen it many times and it's too easy to prove that. Let's talk about the episode Squid's Day Off, where he really uses all his brain cells. While SpongeBob often behaves like he has no idea what's going on, the show repeatedly confirms that he has a full-on working brain. In Squid's Day Off, SpongeBob instantly finds multiple ways to make change for $1, including mixed coin combinations that require quick mental math. That kind of numerical fluency isn't a joke. Even SpongeBob's job hints at intelligence. Cooking at a high level requires multitasking, time management, and rapid problem solving. In Neptune's Spatula, SpongeBob's cooking impresses King Neptune himself. Then, in Le Big Switch, he's transferred to a fine dining restaurant where his food is so good that customers almost beg him not to leave. It means this guy isn't just flipping burgers, he's operating at an elite level. Then, in Karen's Virus, he helps Plankton save Karen after she becomes infected by a deadly virus. He willingly shrinks himself down to get inside her system. The mission becomes so intense that even Plankton considers calling it off out of concern for SpongeBob's safety. This episode shows that SpongeBob really has some guts and courage. Now let's talk about the Band Geeks episode. Here, Squidward attempts to mentor the residents of Bikini Bottom so he can finally outperform his rival, Squilliam Fancyson, at the Bubble Bowl. But due to his poor luck, everything falls apart, and Squidward gives up entirely. That's when Chad SpongeBob steps in. He motivates the group to work together and somehow turns chaos into the iconic Sweet Victory performance. In a single day, SpongeBob proves himself to be an incredible leader and motivator. Now let's move on to the third theory, the one that says SpongeBob isn't clueless or accidentally harmful, but an evil genius who knows exactly what he's doing. The most disturbing part of this theory is that SpongeBob is not unaware of the pain he causes. He understands it, he acknowledges it, and he continues anyway. In the episode Fools in April, he openly admits that he knows Squidward hates him. Even after learning this, SpongeBob doesn't change his behavior. In Squid's Visit, SpongeBob's behavior gets really creepy. When Squidward visits SpongeBob's home, he discovers that SpongeBob has recreated Squidward's entire lifestyle inside his pineapple. The furniture, the routines, and the hobbies. This reveals his stalking behavior and the fact that he doesn't just want to be friends with Squidward. It kind of looks evil that SpongeBob studied Squidward so closely to replicate his private life in detail. Then, the breath of fresh Squidward might might be the clearest example of SpongeBob's darker side. In this episode, Squidward finally improves his life. He becomes happier and more productive. He's respected by the people around him for once. However, instead of being supportive, SpongeBob reacts with jealousy and hostility. He can't stand that Squidward is happy without him. He insults him socially and emotionally until he snaps and is cast out. Then he throws Squidward out of his own party. SpongeBob really proves to be a hypocrite who wants Squidward to be happy, but only on his terms. SpongeBob also keeps reminders of Squidward's suffering. There's a photo album dedicated to their friendship, and every image inside shows Squidward miserable or injured. These are SpongeBob's favorite memories. On top of that, SpongeBob has days marked on his calendar specifically to annoy Squidward. This isn't a playful coincidence. This is planning. This yellow square takes joy in Squidward's pain and organizes his time around it. We know that there's no clear overarching villain in the show, but SpongeBob quietly fills that role. He maintains the image of innocence while manipulating and humiliating others. It explains why Mrs. Puff has suffered for decades. Episodes like Doing Time, Mrs. Puff You're Fired, and No Free Rides show SpongeBob repeatedly injuring her through his reckless driving. Mrs. Puff is arrested, injured, and traumatized over and over again. In the Great Snail Race, SpongeBob's selfishness comes to the surface. His pride pushes Gary far beyond his physical limits. Gary is injured and visibly distressed. However, SpongeBob ignores all of this because winning matters more to him in that moment. Then he eventually realizes his mistake and apologizes, but the damage has already been done. Like he always does, acting innocent after creating all the mess. In Waiting, SpongeBob becomes shockingly cruel to everyone around him while he obsessively waits for a toy in the mail. He lashes out at Gary, snaps at Patrick, and dismisses Sandy. His behavior is obsessive and mean. What makes this episode unsettling is how easily SpongeBob throws away his kindness when he's denied instant gratification. This shows how much of a dual personality he really has. Episodes like The Bully and multiple boating school episodes show how SpongeBob repeatedly endangers others. His reckless behavior causes injuries and destruction, yet he faces little lasting consequence, and in most cases, Mrs. Puff suffers the most. But this meathead never learns, which shows that either he does it on purpose or he's really incompetent. Maybe he enjoys others' misery. Good Neighbors shows SpongeBob at his most intrusive. Squidward clearly wants to be left alone. He sets boundaries, but SpongeBob ignores all of them. Both he and Patrick relentlessly harass poor Squidward under the excuse of being so-called good neighbors. Their actions escalate until Squidward's home security system attacks the entire city. SpongeBob's forced positivity becomes a weapon. In Employee of the Month, SpongeBob's obsession with winning takes over his morality. He breaks into Squidward's house and destroys his alarm clock to sabotage him. The rivalry gets out of control until the Krusty Krab itself is destroyed. SpongeBob frames his actions as passion and dedication, but the reality is ruthless competitiveness. For him, winning matters more than fairness or safety. Finally, in One Course Meal, SpongeBob's moral compass fully collapses. He briefly stands up to Mr. Krabs for tormenting Plankton, only to betray Plankton himself moments later. He uses a projector to scare poor Plankton again. While this technically prevents Plankton from harming himself, it's still manipulation. These episodes clearly show the real villainous side of SpongeBob. It proves that he's not simply annoying, but he's aware and strategic. He hides behind that innocent face while causing real harm. SpongeBob SquarePants may not be the villain we expected, but he may be the villain Bikini Bottom has been living with all along. So guys, what theory do you believe in? Let us know in the comments.